Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Generative AI Tutorial YouTube series. In today's video we will talk about retrieval augmented generation and how it is solving the problem or challenges that we have in the generative AI. So to understand what is retrieval augmented generation, we need to first understand what is generative AI. So generative AI, as we talked about in previous video, if you haven't seen the previous video, please go and watch this where I've talked about the basic fundamentals of generative AI and AI. So just to recap on the top of that, generative AI is something which is able to generate new content based on the data that is available to that particular model. But it has some challenges due to which it creates a hallucination. Now, what is hallucination? Hallucination is creating wrong information and providing wrong information as an output. And this is something which is get addressed by retrieval augmented generation. So let's see what retrieval augmented generation is. So retrieval augmented generation is a process of optimizing the output of large language models, so it references an authoritative knowledge base outside of its training data source before generating a response. Not so clear? Don't worry, it will get clear in a minute. So to understand retrieval augmented generation, let's first understand how generative AI works. So it is very straightforward. So you provide, let's take an example of chat gpt. You provide the input via a prompt or some sort of data. It goes to llm model which is behind chat gpt or other llm model. It processes that particular data from its own contextual information and it provides the response for the same, and that's what you see as an output in the chat gpt. Now that's all right, we are getting our content. Now what's the problem? Why do we need rag application? So it has some challenges. For example, there is no authorized source of truth. So there is no validation that whatever chat gpt is generating is validated and authorized information or not. Secondly, the information might also be outdated based on the timeline or the time when that particular model has been trained. So let's say for example you want to learn something about a particular case study regarding a particular lawsuit. Okay, you might ask something to chat gpt and it might not respond. It can, let's say it respond to your queries by providing a sophisticated answer, and which you might take it as a reference, but there is no authorized source of truth from where it is gathering that information or from where it is generating that information. On the top of that, whatever information the chat gpt is generating, it might be outdated as well. So this is where the RAG application comes into the picture and solves the problem of hallucination created by these two limitations. Now let's see how RAG solves this problem and how it works. So let's consider the example of chat gpt here only. You provide the input in terms of prompt or any particular data. That particular data goes to external data source to get more authorized and contextual data. Then both together, your input data slash prompt along with the external validated source goes to llm model. So now it has more context and authorized information that then provides the particular output. And this is how retrieval augmented generation removes the limitation of hallucination. So now it has the contextual reference of external source. So if it does not have information, it will say that I do not have information, or if it has, then it will refer to the external valid source of truth. So that's the basic fundamental difference between generative AI and retrieval augmented generation. I hope you have liked this video and got to learn something new about it. I will be pushing new episode of this tutorial series next week. So stay tuned to learn more interesting stuff about AI. Thank you. See you soon.